My sister and I don't talk anymore over a book I wrote about my dead daughter. This is a real story, but I am going to be reading it because I don't want to leave any details out. First, let me explain my relationship with my sister. We'll call her Sparkle. She's about 6 years older than me, and we have the same mother but different fathers. Though where I'm from, there's no such thing as a half sibling. That is my sister. There were 6 of us altogether. 5 of my siblings were raised by my grandmother because my mother struggles with addiction. I was the youngest and was raised by my father. My sister has always had big dreams. Over the years, countless people have told her prophetically that she would be wealthy one day. I genuinely love that for her. The thing about Sparkle is that she goes through her seasons. Sometimes she'll disappear for months. She'll say she's on a healing journey and won't answer calls or texts. Then one day she'll reappear. She's motivated and excited about a new business idea. Most of our conversations went something like this. She asked about how my business was doing. She'd tell me she wished she lived closer so that I could teach her the trucking business. I'd send her the same courses I paid thousands of dollars for. She'd tell me about her latest venture, whether it was a notary business, a weight loss journey, or something else. She would tell me the only difference between her and I was that I married and she didn't have support. That if she were married to a good man, she would be able to accomplish all the things that I accomplished as well. She'd ask about my bounce house company and tell me she'd wanted to start one years ago. I believed her. She wants a notary business, a bounce house business, a trash pickup business, a healthcare agency, a shelter. She has many dreams, and I love that for her. I have many dreams as well. I'd send her my manufacturer contacts from China, and I'd show her how I got started. She'd tell me nobody in the family understood and thought she was crazy for constantly wanting to start different businesses. I'd always encourage her because honestly, I understood. I've started more businesses than I can count, and most fail, and a few work, and that is entrepreneurship. One thing I'll always give Sparkle credit for is that she's incredibly creative. In fact, she came up with the name for my logistics company. Then my life changed forever. In August 2020, I gave birth to my daughter, Cadence Rose. Yes, that is her real name. In December 2020, she died. She died at home next to me in the same bed while I was watching television. That single sentence doesn't come close to describing what that did to me. That night, my entire family came from California to be with me. There was an investigation into her death, and ultimately it was determined that I was not responsible in any way. My family carried me through that season. My aunt planned the funeral because I couldn't. My sister started a GoFundMe so that I could bury my daughter. Within a week and a half, we laid my baby to rest. Somewhere during that time, Sparkle mentioned an idea. I always dress Cadence with these huge bows on her head. What if there was a children's book based on her, a book that guides kids through life and teaches things like tying their shoes and other lessons? I thought the idea was amazing. I tucked it away in the back of my mind. I wasn't ready. Every August and December became very difficult for me for 5 years. Even years later, I struggled. I drank myself to sleep, and I tried not to think about what happened during those periods because no matter how much time passes, I still lost my daughter. Then in July 2025, something changed. I decided to create an animated series inspired by Cadence. I showed it to my family. I showed it to Sparkle. I even sat my son down and taught him how to write books because I wanted him to learn something productive and because I refused to spend another August drowning in grief. I needed something positive to focus on. I needed something that honored my daughter instead of destroying me. When I showed the project to Sparkle, she said, "Wasn't this my idea?" I said, "Yeah." I finally followed through with it. Then my grandmother called me. She said, "Wasn't this Sparkle idea?" And again, I said, "Yes." But here's where everything fell apart. The way I saw it, Sparkle had contributed an idea, just like she contributed to the name of my logistics company. I never thought she intended to write the book herself. It wasn't her daughter. And honestly, if she did, I never imagined she'd wait 5 years to do it. She did not have the same ties to the book. To me, it wasn't a business venture. This wasn't about money. It wasn't about authorship. This was about survival. This was about a grieving mother finding a way to get through August without drinking herself into unconsciousness. This was about keeping my daughter's memory alive. But somehow that project cost me my relationship with my sister. I remember telling my grandmother, "She'll be fine," because I truly believe she would understand. She helped bury my daughter. She saw what those years did to me. Surely she would understand why I finally chose to turn my pain into something meaningful. But she didn't. And today, we don't talk. I lost a sister over a book I wrote about my dead daughter. And strangely enough, I've made peace with that. Because if I had to choose between protecting someone's feelings and finding a healthy way to survive my grief, I would choose my daughter every single time. Again, this really is my story. My daughter really did die. This is the dynamics of my current relationship with my sister. Go ahead and follow me because tomorrow we are going to get really in depth on how Cadence died. I do have the reports, I do have the pictures, and there's just a lot of guilt associated. Honestly, I believe that both myself and her doctor are the reasons why she's not here today. That's my own personal feelings, and that's the reason why I struggle so much during certain times of the year, because I do feel like I share a very large amount of the blame, as well as her doctor. And I will say that I've talked to many lawyers, and they all said that I have a case against the doctor. But I'll tell you guys more about that. So give me your comments. Was I wrong for writing a book? Should I have gone about it a different way? Just give me your opinions and your comments. Engage. And as long as you guys are engaged, I know that I should keep the story going that you guys want to know.